I honestly don't know where to begin with this story, because the more you look at it, the more complicated it becomes. At first, it seemed like a simple, sweet moment shared online. A woman smiling, a man giving her beautiful gifts, a holiday celebration. But then the details started to surface, and what looked romantic at first slowly turned into something far more uncomfortable. Let's start at the beginning. Claressa Shields went live on Instagram around Valentine's Day. She wasn't hiding anything. She wasn't being subtle. She looked genuinely happy, glowing, excited, proud. She held up her wrist to show her followers two stunning bracelets. One was white, one was black. Both were from Van Cleef and Arpels, a luxury jewelry brand known for its iconic Alhambra clover designs. The pieces were elegant, delicate, and unmistakably expensive. She explained that the white bracelet had been a Christmas gift from Papoose in December 2024. The black one, she said, was her Valentine's Day gift in February 2025. Together, she described them as her yin and yang. The symbolism felt intentional, balance, harmony, opposites that complete each other. It sounded thoughtful, romantic, carefully chosen. For a moment, it felt like one of those social media love stories people either admire or quietly envy. A successful woman being spoiled by a man who seems attentive and generous. Luxury gifts, holiday surprises, public affection. It checked all the boxes. But then the internet did what it always does. People started remembering something. Those exact bracelets, the same white and black Alhambra designs, had been seen before. And not just on anyone. They had been worn for years by Remy Ma. Not something similar. Not a comparable style. The same collection. The same colors. The same signature clover shape that Van Cleef and Arpels is famous for. Old photos quickly resurfaced. Images from 2018, 2019, and 2020 showed Remy Ma wearing those exact bracelets. Sometimes individually, sometimes stacked together. And that's when the sweet Valentine's moment began to unravel. The question suddenly wasn't about how beautiful the jewelry was. It became much simpler and much more uncomfortable. Were these truly brand new gifts bought especially for Claressa? Or was she wearing jewelry that once belonged to Remy? To understand why this hit so hard online, you have to understand the history behind it. Papoose and Remy Ma weren't just another celebrity couple. They were, for many people, the definition of loyalty. Their relationship survived extraordinary challenges. Remy's prison sentence, years of separation, public scrutiny, industry pressure. Through it all, Papoose stood by her. He built his image around devotion and commitment. They were seen as proof that real love could survive even the hardest trials. They were together for nearly 2 decades. In today's world, that kind of longevity feels rare. They weren't just married. They were a brand built on resilience and loyalty. Then, sometime in late 2024, rumors started circulating that their relationship was facing serious trouble. Whispers of separation began spreading online. Nothing was clearly confirmed, but the energy had shifted. And into that shift stepped Claressa Shields. Now, Claressa is not a random figure in this story. She's a world champion boxer, a decorated athlete, a woman who earned her reputation through discipline, talent, and relentless work. Inside the ring, she's powerful and fearless. She fights with confidence and control. She built her name from the ground up. But outside the ring, this situation placed her in a very different spotlight. When rumors started connecting her to Papoose, she didn't retreat. She didn't avoid attention. In fact, she leaned into it. She posted. She went live. She shared moments. She talked about how well she was being treated. She seemed proud, like someone who had been chosen and wanted the world to know it. Every time she showcased a gift, people paid attention. And every time someone dug a little deeper, at first it was small observations. People noticed similarities. Hairstyles that reminded them of Remy. Fashion choices that felt familiar. Poses in photos that echoed old pictures. Even certain phrases or tones in interviews seemed comparable. Some dismissed it. Maybe they just had similar tastes. Maybe it was coincidence. After all, style overlaps happen all the time. But the bracelets were different. Van Cleef and Arpels jewelry isn't common. The Alhambra collection, especially in white mother-of-pearl and black onyx, is highly recognizable. Each bracelet costs several $1,000s. They're considered luxury investment pieces, not something people casually buy in identical pairs without intention. So when Claressa confidently explained the timeline, white bracelet for Christmas 2024, black bracelet for Valentine's Day 2025, people immediately began comparing it to older photos of Remy. And that's when things got messy, because Remy had been photographed wearing both bracelets together years before. Not recently. Not after rumored separation. Years ago. So now the internet started asking uncomfortable questions. Let's look at the possibilities logically. The first possibility is that Papoose bought Claressa brand new bracelets identical to the ones he had previously given Remy. Same exact style. Same exact colors. If that's the case, it raises questions about thoughtfulness. Why replicate the same gift? Why not choose something new, something unique, something that represents a fresh chapter? The second possibility is more troubling. What if those weren't new bracelets at all? What if they were the actual pieces that once belonged to Remy? Jewelry she wore publicly. Jewelry that carried memories, milestones, and meaning. If that's true, it changes the entire emotional weight of the situation. The third possibility is that this entire situation unfolded with more strategy than people realize. Maybe someone anticipated that the internet would notice the similarities. Maybe the silence and the exposure were part of a larger chess game playing out behind the scenes. No matter which option you consider, none of them feel flattering. And that's where the heartbreak lies. Because this story isn't really about jewelry. It's about respect. If a man gives you the exact same gift he once gave his wife, it doesn't feel original. It feels recycled. And if he gives you the exact pieces that once sat on his wife's wrist, that feels even deeper. It suggests a lack of emotional boundaries. The internet reacted almost immediately. Social media exploded with opinions. Some people criticized Claressa harshly, calling her naive or foolish. Others focused their anger on Papoose, arguing that no man should place two women in such a humiliating position. Some defended Claressa, suggesting people were overanalyzing and jumping to conclusions. But the receipts, those old photos, kept circulating. Images don't disappear. Timelines don't shift. And once something is on the internet, it can be pulled back up at any time. Meanwhile, Remy Ma remained silent.